Hi guys, so yesterday I got a lot of comments asking me how to solve the problems on iExcel. You guys weren't sure and you said it was difficult. So today we're going to be reviewing those problems. I actually pulled these problems directly from iExcel. So let's go ahead and read what it's asking us. It says, what is the length of the hypotenuse? Well, first of all, we need to know which side is the hypotenuse. So remember from our Edpuzzle video, we know that the hypotenuse is right across our right angle. So we know that this side right here is our hypotenuse. That means that the other sides are our legs. So this is a leg and this is a leg. Okay? And now to solve this, to solve the length of the hypotenuse, we need our Pythagorean theorem. So our Pythagorean theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Another way to write this formula is leg square plus leg square equals hypotenuse square. And now all we have to do is substitute inside the numbers and variables. So let me grab a different highlighter. For hypotenuse, I have the letter C, so I'm going to substitute it into hypotenuse. So that's going to look like C squared. For my legs, I have 9 is one of my legs and 12 is my other leg. So let's go ahead and substitute in that. So I get 9 squared plus 12 squared. Now that we substitute it, we need to simplify. 9 times 9 is 81. 12 times 12 is 144. Okay, and I still have c squared on the other side. So now I have to add 81 plus 144. That gives me 225. Now, you might think the c is by itself. It's not, because it has that square right here. To get rid of a square, we need to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I get that c equals the square root of 225 is 15. So c equals 15. So on iExcel, I would have typed c equals 15 meters. All right, let's go ahead and move on to problem number 2. Once again, it's asking us, what is the length of the hypotenuse? If necessary, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so let's go ahead and write our formula again. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What's another way of writing this? Leg square plus leg square equals hypotenuse squared. All right, I'm going to grab a different colored marker, go across my right angle. Across my right angle is my hypotenuse, and the other sides are going to be the legs. Okay, now let's go ahead and substitute in. I have 5 as one of the legs, so 5 squared plus 4 as my other leg. 4 squared equals hypotenuse is c, so I'm going to have c squared. And now we simplify. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 4 is 16 equals c squared. Okay, you can always use your calculator to make these calculations. So we have 25 plus 16. Whoa, what did I do? 25. 25 plus 16 gives me 41. So I'm going to have 41 equals c squared. Am I done? No. I need to get rid of that square. So I need to take the square root of both sides. The square root of 41. Well, 41 is not a perfect square, so I'm going to use my calculator to calculate it. And I get 6.4031 and so on. I'm stopping there because it tells me in my directions that I need to round to the nearest tenth. So my 10th place is this place right here. I look to my right. If it's less than 5, then it stays the same. So 6.4. Okay? So my answer would be 6.4 inches. All right. Let's take a look at the next problem. Go ahead and pause the video. Try it on your own. Now that hopefully you tried it on your own, let's do it together and see if you got the correct answer. So our formula, once again, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. My hypotenuse is always across my right angle, and my other sides are the legs. Okay, so now we substitute in 21 squared plus 28 squared equals c squared. All right, these are big exponents, so I'm going to use a calculator again and clear my works. So I'm going to do 21 squared equals 441. 28 squared is 782. Oh, sorry, 784. And now I'm going to add 441 plus 784. And I get 1,225 equals c squared. Remember, we need to take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 1,225 is 35. So c equals 35. So what is the length of the hypotenuse? 35 yards. All right. Number 4 is a little bit different. Instead of the hypotenuse, what are we solving for? Well, it says it right there. It says, what is the length of the missing leg? So this time we're solving for the length of the leg. So let's go ahead and label the parts of our triangle again. Across from the right angle is our hypotenuse. That means that the other sides are our legs. So this is a leg and this is a leg. Let's go ahead and write our formula. So we get a squared plus b squared equals c squared, or leg squared plus leg squared equals c squared. I have 8 as a leg, so I get a squared, 8 squared, plus, and then I have the letter a as a leg, so a squared equals, my hypotenuse is 10, so I get 10 squared. Okay, take a moment to make sure I did it correctly. Make sure you understand it. Okay, now let's keep going. 8 times 8 is 64 plus a squared equals 10 times 10 is 100. And remember, our goal in solving equations is to get our variable by itself. So I need to get this a squared by itself. To do that, I need to get rid of this 64. So to get rid of that 64, I need to subtract both sides by 64. So this is why it's so important we learn how to already solve equations, you guys. 100 minus 64 is 36. And our last step, take the square root. So here we get a equals 6. So our leg is 6 millimeters long. All right, let's move on to the next problem. So once again, we're going to write our formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Or leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. All right, let's label our parts. Across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. And the other sides are my legs. Okay, so one of my legs is 9. So I'm going to do 9 squared. My other leg is unknown. It's a. So I'm going to do a squared equals my hypotenuse, which is 15. So I'm going to have 15 squared. Okay, so now 9 times 9 is 81 plus a squared equals 15 times 15 is 225. And now I need to get the a by itself. So in order to get my a squared by itself, what do I need to do first? Hopefully you said I need to subtract both sides by 81. 81 minus 81 is 0. 225 minus 81, I can't do that on top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and use a calculator. And I get that's 144. So bring down my a squared equals 144. I'm not done just yet. You already know what I have to do. I need to take the square root of both sides. And I get a equals 12. So 12 meters is the length of my leg. All right, let's go ahead and do this last problem. If you want, go ahead and pause the video. I am going to tell you now that the answer is a decimal. So if you're feeling like, oh no, I did something wrong, nope, you got it. Just your answer is a decimal this time. All right, hopefully you tried it by yourself. Once again, I'm going to write down the formula. Say it with me. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Or, say it with me, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Okay, I'm going to label my parts. Across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. And that means the other ones are leg and leg. So I know one of my legs is 5. I get 5 squared. My other leg is unknown and they put a as the variable. So a squared equals hypotenuse squared, and in this case it's going to be 9. So 9 squared. Okay, now let's simplify. 5 times 5 is 25. A squared. 9 times 9 is 81. And now I need to get the a by itself. So to get my a squared by itself, I need to get rid of this 25. How do I get rid of this 25? Yep, subtract both sides by 25. I get 0 here. 81 minus 25, so 81 minus 25. I get 56, so I get a squared equals 56. And now I need to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 56 is 7.483 and so on. It tells me in my problem that I need to round to the nearest tenth. So my 10th place is right here on the 4. I look to the right. If this number is bigger than 5 or equal to 5, then I round up. So my answer is 7.5. Okay, so A equals 7.5 centimeters. All right, guys, I hope this helps. You are to write down all the steps on Cami or on a separate sheet of paper. It's just practice for you guys, especially those who were struggling, okay? Happy Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. We got this, guys.